Hey, how's it going today? I want to talk about call for proposal and what that is. Overall process of call for proposal typically involves several stages, from initial announcement to a final selection and selection of proposal. Overall process can look similar to announcement. An organization or entity that is seeking for proposals, such as government agencies, different companies, foundations, or academic institutions, announces the call for proposal. This announcement includes details about the team, objectives, eligibility criteria, criteria that you should be looking for first if your company or organization fit to eligibility criteria, and if that would be something that you yourself would be interested in doing. Submission guidelines, deadlines, and any specific requirements. Proposal development. Interested individuals, organizations, or groups prepare and develop their proposal in the accordance with guidelines provided in the call, which is very important. Many times you might spend a lot of time, and small technicality can lead to your proposal to be out of scope. Pay a lot of attention of what the particular organization is looking within the scope. For example, it needs to be water-based plant generator or something. It cannot be a sand generator or that any sort of that. Sometimes they go into very niche detail and pay a lot of attention on that, what they're really looking for. It was so many times that I or my project would be out of scope, and a lot of time that I'll put into the project. I cannot go into all the details just because I cannot disclose those. But either way, make sure that your project fits within the scope. That's what I'm saying. Uh, and overall, your wording is within the scope, which is going to be outlined in proposal. Your approach, methodology, expected outcomes, timeline, budget, and any other requirements of information, which is very important. So if organization is offering £10,000, since we would be focusing currently on UK, but it works exactly the same with other regions, continents as well. If your project would require more money, that might be a stage 2, but not necessarily stage 1. And for initial stage, usually call for proposal, they would offer a budget which would be perhaps 10,000 or so. So the overall project needs to fit for this stage 1, and stage 2 might be a different budget. That would be a completely different story. But first, if they are offering 10,000, your project needs to fit within those guidelines. Proposals, overall submission process. Proposals are submitted by the specific deadline. This can involve submitting physical documents, uploading files through an online portal, or following any other methods outlined in the call. I would highly recommend to make sure either before you submitting proposal or after you submit the proposal, make sure that the email box is monitored and there would be people who actually would check that email box. So that's what I would do, because so many times you can send an email and that the email can land that did happen, yeah, in the, I don't know, in the junk mail, I guess, or they wouldn't necessarily find your email that you send your proposal, and can be a large sums of money, and it could be a lot of your time wasted as well. So just to summarize, overall submission, you might want to have a green light that current competition is live and you can submit a proposal, as well as after you submit the proposal, you might want to ask if they did had received your proposal as well. Initial review after submitting your proposal by the deadline. The organizations who are you submitted your proposal to typically conduct an initial review where they would review your proposal against eligibility criteria, and that's internal process that most of organizations would do, just to check if it falls between the guidelines. So many projects, perhaps in the beginning, wouldn't necessarily fall into eligibility criteria, but hopefully your project will. Evaluation and selection. A review committee or panel evaluates against eligibility criteria overall your proposal based on predetermined evaluation criteria that normally you can find in the back of overall proposal section where you're submitting. They would tell you what your proposal would be based against what kind of information that would be, perhaps value or quality, perhaps experience of the team. There could be a number of different criteria what your overall proposal would be value against, and based on that criteria they might give you a score of your proposal, compared to that score would be compared against other proposals. Shortlisting or finalizing overall proposal based on evaluation or shortlisting of top proposals, or finalizing is scored. These proposals are deemed to have the highest potential for success or alignment with the core overall process, how it can look like. After agreed timeline, all proposals would be notified of what would be the next steps, if there will be against evaluation process, if your proposal would be green lighted or it would be rejected. Negotiation or contracting. If your proposal is selected, the organization might enter into a negotiation within the proposer to finalize terms, budget, and any other relevant details. This can lead to the creation of the contract or agreement that outlines responsibilities of both parties. Implementation. Once contracts are signed and details are finalized, the selected proposals move into the implementation phase. This involves carrying out the activities outlined in the proposal, meeting milestones, and achieving the proposed outcomes of the project. Monitoring and reporting. Organization overseeing the call may require regular progress reports from the selected proposers to ensure that the project is on track and meeting its goals. Completion and evaluation. After this project is completed, there is often an evaluation phase where the outcomes are assessed against the initial objectives. This can help to inform future calls for proposals and improvements in the process overall. I have published the book. The name of the book is How to Start Your Own First Business, Venturing into Livestock Enterprise. In the book, I'm sharing all the details for everyone who is interested in the livestock enterprise, and everything what you would need to know to reach your first milestone. That would be $10,000, pounds, euros. In the book, I'm sharing a lot of insights of what others within that industry have done, lessons that they have learned, everything what anyone else venturing into that business would need to know. You can find this book in description, or you can find it on my company's website. All the top retailers has this book as well. Thank you. Overall, just to summarize, call for proposals. There are a lot of opportunities out there. Make sure that you read all the contracts you can deliver based on requirements for call for proposal, and submit your proposals. Perhaps if you do, make sure that perhaps you starting with the smaller projects and building a track record of successfully completing some of those first, from venturing in more ambitious projects. If there's anything else I can add to that. Other than that, thanks for watching and see you next one.